two babies are having the time of their lives going in and out of those fancy initial carriers.
Oh, PC and DC are getting too used to the rich life.
Days Nina is going to pull out of this.
I know. It's just, she isn't making the kind of progress that we'd hoped for.
Well, Dr. Wald hasn't given up, and neither can we.
I know. Well, the hardest part is we can't even see her. You know, I'd just like to go there and sit beside her. Miserable Dr. Wald, he won't even let us do that much.
All right, you're her mother. You have a right. You just go there and you insist.
Somehow I don't think Wald is going to be intimidated by me.
Then you get down on your knees if you have to. You beg him. You plead with him. I mean, that man must have a heart somewhere.
Begging isn't really my style, you know. But you're right. You're really right. You know that? Maybe I ought to go to Oak Haven and tell him he's going to have 2 patients on his hands if he doesn't let me just at least see my daughter.
Oh, my precious daughter.
I love you, Father. Please let me come home with you.
There's nothing I want more. But before we can do that, we have to do something about that evil man I told you about.
The one who only pretends to care about me.
Yes, Cliff Warner. Now, if you come home with me now, he'd have the power to take you away from me.
Why? Just because I didn't do my scales right?
Scales?
I told you I didn't like him when you hired him, Father. He's a terrible piano teacher.
Nina, that was when you were 10 years old.
I know you think I'm too young to decide, but I really don't like him. And if he doesn't like me, it seems like you could just fire him.
I most certainly did. I took that damnable disc and I cut it into 1,000,000 pieces, and then I stuffed it down the garbage disposal.
No, I can't believe you would do such a thing.
Nor do I. Phoebe, I dare you to look me in the face and tell me that again.
Very well. I took the filthy disc out of my wall safe and I annihilated it. Furthermore, I have no regrets.
Why? Why would you do something like that?
And I certainly don't have to explain my actions to you, Gregory Nelson. Your own mother happens to be in accord with what I've done. Oh, out of my way.
What are we going to do now? There is absolutely no way we're ever going to be able to free Tad Dottie if we don't get that disc.
What's the matter with you, Jeremy? You look like you've seen a ghost. Don't you remember your stepmother?
Surely it hasn't been that long, Jeremy.
Forgive me. You look very well, Natalie.
Well, that's much better. It's good to have you home.
Thank you.
I think we should toast our prodigal son. Whatever was it you were doing down in Central America, Jeremy?
Why did you contact me? Father seems to be in perfect health.
The jig is up, as they say. I want you and your father to be friends again.
How naive my wife is.
Perhaps so. But I love both of you. After Alex had that coronary, we almost lost him.
It'll take more than that.
I didn't want any more time to pass without trying to find a peace between father and son.
Natalie, you're being maudlin. I'll outlive you both.
I hope you do. And I hope long before all past differences will be forgotten.
Well, don't look on me as a peacemaker. It's not one of my fortes.
Look well, Jeremy.
Let's cut the formalities, will you, Natalie, and let's get down to exactly what you want.
I will never forgive Aunt Phoebe for what she did. Do you realize that now we don't have anything to bargain with?
Yes, I realize that. There's no way we'll ever get near Tad or Dottie without that disc.
And the printout. I should have never given Barton that printout.
And there was no way to know that Bart would catch me in the next room. and get his hands on that confession tape.
Our hands are tied. There is nothing we can do.
We can't go anywhere near Barton or any of his little jerks. The guy's out for blood.
I know, I'd be dead right now if it weren't for that honeymoon couple busting into the hotel room when they did, giving me a chance to escape.
You know what makes matters even worse is they think that we still have that disc.
Which means that they could be on their way down here right now with their guns loaded.
Well, I don't care about that. I can handle them. It's just I'm glad that they don't know where Tad and Dottie are.
Oh, they're probably Barton and all those guys are probably tailing us right now.
We gotta get word to Tad and Dottie and tell them to go to the police so they can get some protection.
Yeah, and they won't answer their phone, so I'll go up there and tell them.
Well, I'm going with you.
No. No way. First thing,
Greg.
Tad told me that he doesn't want you involved any further. And secondly, it'd be less conspicuous for me to go alone.
He's right.
So you guys stay here.
I think Greg's right, dear. Besides, Tad and Dottie will be out on bail before you know it.
All right. Well, will you tell Tad I love him?
I better get going. Every second counts.
Be careful.
Good luck.
Daddy, I hate her for what she did.
I'm sorry, dear.
I was so excited. I'm finally gonna get to see Tad. And now, I don't know if I'm ever gonna see him again.
You really love him, don't you?
I always have, and I always will.
Well, then I don't think you should give up as easily as that.
Well, Daddy, that's just great, but we don't have the disc, and then that's the only way we can save them.
You know, I think that Phoebe is holding out on us. I think she's lying. I think it's somewhere.
You think she would still have it?
I think she's hidden it somewhere.
Well, if that's true, then she's probably destroying it right now.
Well, then
She's right.
you go right upstairs and you check on her and you try to reason with her. In the meantime, Andrew and I are going to tear this room apart until we've found it. Now, hurry! Come on, Andrew, let's get cracking!
All the time. At home with you and Mrs. Murdoch. I'm sorry. I know I'm being spoiled. I don't mean to be. I just get so lonesome without you.
Well, I get lonesome without you, too, darling.
Then is it all right?
We'll see.
So, did you have a nice visit?
Very nice, Doctor. Except it isn't over yet.
Darling, I have to go. I have a business appointment, but I'll be back soon.
Why don't we get you ready for your lunch now?
I don't want any lunch, thank you.
Come on. I'm sure they'll have something you like.
I have to go, darling. I'll be back soon.
And you won't forget I want to come home?
No, I won't forget.
I love you, Father.
I love you, too.
Bye.
Goodbye. She thinks she's 10 years old.
It's a beginning, Mr. Cortlandt.
A beginning? You turned my daughter into a child.
I must first bring my patients forward through time, from childhood into maturity.
You think she'll come back to a normal age?
In time, yes. But we must lead her through the stages, gradually, and with great care.
And how long will that take?
Nina herself will pace her progress through her own memory breakthroughs, which we will encourage and elaborate on.
Well, I'm going to be a great part of those memory breakthroughs.
Obviously, since her early life centered around you.
Good.
Mr. Cortlandt, I must speak to you about a matter of ethics. I am very uncomfortable with the idea of not sharing the news of your daughter's progress with her mother and her husband.
Dr. Wall, my daughter's entire childhood was centered around me. She doesn't even know her husband or her mother at this point. For her to visit them would only confuse her and cause them great pain. I see no reason to put them through that emotional agony until Nina is ready to accept them mentally.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cortlandt, but in the best interest of my patient and of myself, I shall remain silent only a little while longer. No matter what the cost, personally, I shall not compromise my integrity.
Dr. Wall, they told me at the desk you were here.
Daisy, what are you doing here?
funny. I was just going to ask you that. I thought you had an all-afternoon appointment at the office.
See that your efforts are wasted, since he's still unrepentant and full of the same old animosities.
You rid yourself of your animosities towards him?
Through a long and painful process, yes. That part of my life is over.
Have you dropped your animosities toward me as well?
Natalie, it's all history now.
Forgiven, but not forgotten.
Forgotten as well.
Sounds like you found religion.
You made these?
Mm-hmm.
Too much sugar.
Well, I'll have to watch that.
Since there's no need for me to stay here, I get ready to go back to the States.
This is your favorite part of Canada and your favorite time of year. Why deny yourself the pleasure of enjoying it for a while? This is your home, and your father may mellow out. You know how difficult it is for Alex to show any affection.
Doesn't matter that much.
It does matter, Jeremy. You wouldn't have dropped everything to be here.
Only to be asked if I'd come back for the reading of the will.
That was to cover his pleasure at your caring enough to come.
He'll never change, right?
With your help, he could.
I doubt that. But I'd like to see some of the country. Do some fishing. Watch a change in seasons.
Then you'll stay.
For a few days, perhaps. My old room?
Of course. I'll have Summer send your bags up.
I'll do it. If you'll excuse me.
Jeremy. Thank you.
Well, since I asked first, Daisy, why are you here?
Okay. I came to ask Dr. Wald if I could see Nina.
Oh, well, that's exactly why I'm here, but you'll find that Dr. Wall is a very tough man, and he'll give you the same answer he gave me. No way.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Cortland.
Why? I won't even have to talk to her. I won't disturb her. I just want to sit beside her.
I can't allow it. Nina's not ready for family visits as yet.
All right. Could you tell me something about her condition then? Has it changed? Has she progressed?
There's been no forward movement in the case.
She's still the same. There's been no break.
I can't go into details at the moment. I must get to my patient, if you'll excuse me.
I don't believe it. He's so rude.
Well, I don't think he is.
I'll tell you, I don't trust him. I don't think he's telling us the truth about Nina.
Now, why do you think that?
It's intuition, Palmer. You don't notice since he came, he's a very different man than the man who arrived here.
Oh, no, he's exactly the same man, stubborn.
No, he's not. He's gotten somehow more subdued and rigid. It makes him seem more harsh.
No, it's just your anxiety and the fact that he won't allow us to see Nina. No, he's the best in the field. I mean, we just have to have faith with him.
I have faith, okay? I want to know what's going on.
Well, so do I. Listen, why don't you change your mind and marry me as soon as my divorce goes through, I mean, I'd like to set a date. I don't want to push you, but I really would like you to become my wife.
I don't want to talk about this now. In this place? What's the matter, Palmer? I can't think about that. I'm too concerned about Nina.
Well, let's get out of here. It's depressing.
Really depressing for us? How do you think it is for her?
Oh, everything will be all right. There'll be a breakthrough soon. Really, come on.
Hoping for is a breakthrough. I've got to get...
Thank you for your care, all your concern. I really appreciate it.
Well, it's all right. I think I know how you feel.
It's not as if you don't have a lot in your mind right now either, does it?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think it helps to have a job to do.
I'm sure Nina's always in the background down there somewhere.
Yeah. I think it's the helplessness. You know, in my profession, serious illness is part of the territory. But I'm trained to heal. And whether it's surgery or physical therapy, I want to heal.